Hi, this is Jeannie at Trendy Tree, and today we're going to decorate this bicycle wheel. This is an aluminum, it's an actual real bicycle wheel, but it's been modified just to make it decorative. This part of the wheel has been shortened so that it will lay flat against your wall, okay? But it's real spokes and everything, and they're available in several different colors. We're going to go with this orange one to do a fall door decoration, and we just made a loop with some raffia to hang it by. So this project is going to be one that I'm piecing together from old projects. You know, when I make something here at home, I like to reuse, repurpose things. So I pulled out some things that I have used on previous arrangements, and some of these things will still be available on the website and some may not. One of the first things I'm going to use is, I'll just show you these pieces, is this wheat bush, and I've already cut some pieces off. It was much larger than this, and I'll have to get you the number, but this is in stock now. It's an all plastic light cream and brown wheat bush, and it had several different pieces on it, and I've used the rest of it, and this is what I have left. This is a raz crackleberry bush, and that number is F390005. I believe it's still in stock. And then I have a couple of pieces from a bittersweet spray or bush. And again, these are leftover pieces, so I don't have that number in front of me, but I will put those numbers in the video. This is just a simple sunflower spray, and that is 29226YW. And then I have some leftover pieces from a cotton bowl spray. We're gonna make, I brought some ribbon, and I'll have to get that number for you too, but it has a blue truck and orange. That's kind of a cobalt blue or a navy blue. And then I have this piece of blue plaid, blue and orange plaid that's 1.5 inch. And we're gonna make just a simple bow with that. And the first thing I'm gonna do is make my arrangement to go on the wheel. And what I'm gonna do is piece some of the floral pieces together and make it like a bouquet, and then secure the whole thing to the wheel like that. Now you can take a piece of styrofoam and attach it to the wheel and, you know, stick your pieces in, you know, using some hot glue, but for my purposes today, I'm going to make just a bouquet out of these pieces and secure it, place it on the wheel, and just secure it to the spokes with some wire or burlap or something like that, okay? Now this crackleberry spray is rather large, so I'm just gonna, I've got some heavy duty wire cutters here, and I hope I'm gonna be able to cut that. This is really easy to cut with a stem cutter. I don't have one here at the house, so I've just got some big wire cutters, so okay, I was able to cut it. I was afraid I wouldn't be. One piece of that is probably going to be enough, so I'm just going to lay that other aside. And that's kind of a large piece, so I'll just kind of start with that. And then I'm going to take the sunflowers. If you're not familiar with Trendy Tree is my daughter Carrie and son-in-law David's website. They have all kinds of wreath making supplies, from forms, work wreaths, and the Unique in the Creek form, just hundreds and hundreds of styles of mesh, ribbon, signs, florals, floral containers, just all kinds of things to use to make your floral arrangement out of. And this one has a sticker that doesn't want to come off. That's usually the way it is. But you want to get all those labels off. That one's not coming off too good, but it'll probably be covered up, so that's all I'm going to do with that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the length of that stem off. I know I don't need that much, so I'm just going to shorten that. And I'm just going to take this and kind of hold it in my hand and place the sunflower stem on top of that. I'm going to take some of the bittersweet, and I'm going to shorten those pieces a bit too, or cut some of those stems off of the bittersweet. Don't need too much of that. This is going to be a simple decoration that I'm going to send to my sister in Arkansas. She's in the nursing home. So I'm going to fix this so she can hang it on her door. She's got like a patriotic wreath on it right now, so she needs something for fall. And this is not going to be a big decoration, and it's will be easy to hang. So I'm just kind of holding all of those pieces in my hand, and when I get everything attached, I'm going to put a zip tie around it, and then I can reposition it. Now I'm going to use some cotton on this. I'm going to kind of put that cotton in the front. We spent a lot of time in cotton fields, she and I did. She and my other sister too. We all grew up, picking cotton and hoeing cotton and all those things. So I know she'll like the cotton bowls. And I'm just going to take a zip tie and go around where I've been holding that in my hand and secure that with a zip tie. And I can move these around a little bit after I get them secured. Bring that zip tie around to the back. Oh, I forgot my wheat. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, maybe I can still slip my wheat under the zip tie. My wheat pieces. Kind of stick one to the back and one to the front. Kind of one to the side. Glad I almost forgot that. And bring that zip tie around to the back. And now I'm going to secure it. Just lay it down where I can secure it tight as I can. And take my wire cutters and cut that tail off of that zip tie. Okay, so that's my bouquet. Now, like I say, I can shape it a little more after I get completely finished with it. But for my stems are not very attractive, so I'm going to cut my stems off where they're all the same length. Shorten that. Good gracious. One of those stems is really hard to cut. Now, with the bush cutter, it's so easy. I've got to get one of those. As soon as they're back in stock at Trendy Tree, I'm going to have to tell Carrie to save me one of those. But I'm going to cover up the ends of the stems. Now, I'll have a bow on this, and it will cover up a lot of it. But just, just in case something is showing, I don't want it to, I want to cover that up. Now, I've got some stems from my bittersweet that I'm going to trim off. Okay. And then I'm going to take just some burlap rope or jute roping, not roping, but just twine. It's just jute twine. And we have this on the website. I'm not offhand, I'll have to look that number up, but we have it in the brown and the red, I believe. But I'm just going to take some twine, and I'm going to start with the area about where my zip tie is, and I'm going to leave a long tail, because I'm going to need to be able to tie this when I get done. But I'm going to come down to the bottom, just going to hold that tail in place with one hand. And I'm just going to start wrapping that twine around the bottom. This is just to cover up those stems a little bit. And I have another little stem sticking out. I'm not using any hot glue or anything. Now, if you were making this for someone, yes, you'd use a little hot glue here and to make sure that your jute didn't come unwrapped or anything. But now, for my purposes, I will probably repurpose these pieces later, or probably, after fall, take this off the door and take these pieces apart, and you've all got one of those boxes in your closet or craft room or wherever where you throw your extra pieces of florals in. Never throw anything away because you can probably repurpose it later. So that's why when I'm making something for myself or for somebody else like this, I don't use any hot glue to make it, permanent or anything. But of course, if you were making projects to sell and that kind of thing, you certainly do, especially if you're going to have to ship them. And I'm just going to bring that all the way up and go around the zip tie just to kind of cover that up, just to make those stems a little neater. Okay, and I'm going to finish up on the back side and just cut my jute. My scissors are wore out. Okay, and then I'm going to find that piece where I started, and I'm just going to tie this together. Just going to tie it in a knot a couple of times. And you can snip that off or just leave it hanging, okay? I don't think I need the wire cutters anymore. Okay, so now that's my bundle, and I'm going to just kind of reshape my flowers, kind of pull things around. And what I'm going to do is sort of secure that to the side of the bicycle wheel, okay? I'm trying to turn that around where you can see it a little better. Like that. Kind of at an angle. I'm going to take a piece of just some paper wrapped floral wire and just kind of go around some of the sprays so I can secure that to my wheel. So I'm just going to wrap that wire around a couple of the sprays. It won't take a lot to hold it on the wheel, and I may have to secure it in a couple of places. And then just kind of position that on the wheel. Turn it around about like that, and secure it from the back. Okay, and I'm going to put a piece a little bit lower also. Just kind of thread it through the sprays. And bring it around to the back. And that way it'll be secured in two places. Okay. All right, so now I can work on just arranging my flowers a little more. I don't want them all just sticking straight up. I want some of them kind of coming out to the front. Out to the side. Just kind of fluff that out a little bit. And the next thing I'm going to do is make a small, simple bow to go on it. And I'm going to use my bow dabber today. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is make a bow. Now, we don't need very much of a bow for this. This is going to be a small bow. I'm going to use the bow dabber today. The bow dabber is this plastic piece. And if you have one of these, it kind of scoots and slips around on your table. So my husband mounted this one to a board for me. He drilled some small holes in the plastic housing and then just drilled it to the board. And I have a tutorial. I can give you a link to that. The ribbon that I'm going to use today is this blue truck ribbon. And since it's got, I want the trucks all going in the same position. So what I did was just cut a piece that's about 24 inches. And I'm going to fold it together. I want about a 5-inch loop. So I'm just going to fold it to where I've got about a 5-inch loop on each side, and so my trucks will be going in the same direction, and I'm just going to pinch that up and just drop it down in the bow maker. Before I do that, I need to put the tails to my bow. I have a piece that's about another 24 inches, and that's going to be my tail. So let me lift that back up. I'm going to fold that, drop it right down in the bow dabra, pull it to the front. I'll finish my tails off when I get done. And then drop my piece that I just lapped. It's just a straight piece. I've just lapped it over. I'm going to cover up those ends so they don't pop out. And just drop it down in the bow dabra. Make sure my loops are about the same size. They're about 4.5 to 5 inches. And then, excuse me, just to give my bow a little more color, I'm going to take a piece. My tails are about 10 inches, so I'm just going to take a piece and cut that and just drop it down in there just to give a little extra color. And then I'm going to finish off with this navy blue 1.5 inch plaid, and I'm going to make about a 10-inch tail, drop that down. And even though it's the same on both sides, I go ahead and twist mine anyway, just to stay in the habit of doing that twist to get the right side up. And I'm going to make this loop just a little bit smaller than my first loop, about a 1/2 inch smaller than the first loop. Make 2. So I've got 2 loops, so this time I'm going to twist and I'm going to make one more small loop that's going to be about, 2.5 inches. That's going to be my center loop. And then I'm going to bring that tail down, okay? That center loop is going to cover up my mechanics, okay? So now I'm going to take another piece of that paper wrapped floral wire, and I'm going to ease my bow. I'm going to pick it up, ease it up off the board. It's all stacked up. Let me move that out of the way. And I'm going to take the floral wire and go right over the top of that last loop. And bring that wire to the bottom or the back. And then I'm going to twist that. I'm going to hold that wire, twist the bow. That's a little easier than just trying to twist your wire. Okay? So now I'm going to take that center loop and pull it over just to cover up those mechanics. Okay? And then just fluff out your bow a little bit. And like I say, you don't need much of a bow. And I can trim those tails, and I'll trim those tails after I get it on the arrangement, okay? So now I'm going to take that and I'm going to secure it to my bouquet or bundle, whatever you want to call it, with the wire. I'm just going to fit that around the arrangement and go right up, pull it up. And I'm going to go around the arrangement and around the spokes. And just twist that in the back. I didn't fasten it good, y'all. Hang on. I think it will secure better if I just go around the arrangement and not go around the spokes. And I could have secured this before I attached the floral. That would have probably been the best way to do it. Hindsight is 20/20. So now we're ready to just kind of fluff out our bow, trim our tails. And you always want to take the tails of your ribbon and kind of give them a little curl, gives them a little body. And usually on my 1.5 inch, I usually just like to cut those at an angle, but you can do them anyway. On the 2.5 inch, I usually cut them at like a chevron or a fish mouth, and you just fold that and cut away from the fold. And just give them a little curl. Okay, that's it. Always, once you're finished, kind of go back and check your ribbons, trim your tails if you need to. Be sure and give them a little curl. Check your flowers and see if you need to, rearrange them a little bit. And check the back. Make sure you don't have anything on the back that's going to scratch or anything. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll visit Trendy Tree. We have lots of tutorials, and we also have a new Facebook group called Trendy Tree Wreath Club. If you're interested in wreath making, flower arranging, or crafts, we'd love for you to join. That's my sister calling. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.